Warning: the Savage Nation contains adult language, adult content, psychological nudity. Listener discretion is advised. And now, America's most exciting radio talk show, The Savage Nation, home of borders, language, culture. And here he is, Michael Savage.
How many roads must a man walk down before you can call him a man?
So the anti-American communist slime, as exemplified by Joan Baez's song that you're listening to, an anti-war song of the 60s, have won. They brought it all down, girl. For 40 years, they've talked about bring it all down, man. And man, alive, the most unpopular president since George Washington, the most unpopular president since the Revolutionary War, has just about succeeded in destroying the United States of America. You know, there's a comedian who just went into rehab. They said he went into rehab to make sure that he doesn't slip. You know what that means? It means he slipped and had to go into rehab. It's nothing to celebrate, even though he's a psycho lib. He's a nice guy. I mean, whatever. I understand what it is to perform every day and feel you can't go on. But you don't know what it's like to not perform every day, but to talk truthfully every day and see all of your dreams going up in smoke because a anti-American revolutionary has performed a coup right in front of the eyes of the American people, and he got away with it. You could say all you want about Obama. You could say, oh, he's done this. He's the worst president in 70 years. It won't stop him. You don't understand how the communists work. You don't understand what's going on in front of your eyes. You don't see what he's doing. It's not enough to say he's the most unpopular president and go back to sleep or plan your vacation. So I couldn't go to rehab because I've never been in rehab, so I couldn't go back to rehab. I don't use drugs. So I went and I prayed today. I stood at the edge of a promontory on the edge of the bay of San Francisco Bay. And all I thought when I stopped my bicycle was I said, I've got to pray to God. I want to see what God has to say to me. I haven't talked to him for a while. I didn't even know how to pray to him. I really didn't know how to pray to God. I forgot how to pray. I looked up and I said, what do you want me to do? What can I do for you other than to say, thank you for all you have given me. Thank you for all you've given my family. And then I heard a still small voice say, that's not good enough. So I had to bend my knee to God. And then when I bent my knee to God today, I said something in Hebrew that I remembered from the time I was a little boy. And the word sounded almost like Allah. And then I realized there is only one God. It's the God of the Jews, the God of Christians, and the God of Muslims. I remember that all of these religions worship the same God. And I thought that may have been God's message. I'm not so sure if it's the same message. I do know that this group ISIS in the Middle East is killing fellow Muslims by the hundreds, if not by the thousands. They're cutting off their heads. They're humiliating them, burning villages to the ground. Fellow Muslims are being killed by these psychopathic Islamo-Nazis. You have to ask yourself, why is Obama not unleashing drones on them? Why is he not firing Tomahawk missiles at them? They're running around with brand new Toyota trucks. Captured American tanks and Humvees. Why is he not blowing them up? You don't understand what's going on here. These are the people that Obama wants to overthrow Assad with. They're McCain's army. You've heard of McHale's Navy, a popular TV show of many years ago. ISIS is McCain's army. They were given the weapons, and they're going to use the weapons to throw over Assad. Do you have any idea what's waiting for the world when Assad is gone and they take over his air force? Is there anyone listening to the show who understands what I'm saying to you, that this is all calculated from within? This is not happening by accident. We still have the most powerful military on earth, and we're not using it. Why not? We're not using it on the border to stop the immigrants coming in with epidemics, are we? We're not using the military to stop ISIS from using their powers of murder and fascism, are we? So therefore the government is enabling ISIS, if not outright behind ISIS. You have to ask yourself, wait a minute, what can I do about it? I don't know what you can do about it. All I can do is talk about it. And all I can do is ask myself, why has God forsaken America? So I flipped open the Bible, You can turn the show off now and go listen to one of the comedians who's doing a joint right now for his mocking show tonight. Maybe it's Bill Maher getting ready to mock the American flag and God. Gee, I don't want to be around him on his deathbed, I'll tell you. I really don't want to be around him on the deathbed when he screams out for mommy and there's no mommy. And he says, I can't scream out to God because I mocked him for the last 50 years or 60 years. Or the other comedians reading the scripts written for them by the government media complex. So I flipped open Deuteronomy. I flipped the book open, and a passage jumped out, and it said, but Jerusalem waxed fat and kicked out. You waxed fat, you grew thick, you became gross, and you forsook God who made him and condemned the rock of his salvation. Now, what does that mean? In Deuteronomy, it says that the reason Israel was overthrown in ancient days and taken into slavery by the Babylonians is because they turned on God. They grew fat, they grew thick, they became gross. It sounds like Harvey Weinstein. They they waxed fat, didst grow thick, they didst become gross. If I were to put a face on it, it would be Harvey Weinstein of Hollywood. And he forsook God who made him and condemned the rock of his salvation. So you don't believe in any of this. You believe it's all a joke. And yet the Bible tells us it's not a joke. It tells us that Jerusalem, which was once a great power, fell several times. It fell in Babylonian times. It fell in Roman times. Why? Because the people, once they became powerful and strong, became weak and fat, just like we are. That's why I did a poem the other day about old white men slinging bags of dog crap. I said that symbolizes America today. Old white men slinging bags of dog crap. That to me symbolizes the America that we're living in today.